Hello everyone. Today's video dives into the craziest animal attacks ever caught on camera, capturing shocking actually happened. In the fierce clash between wildlife and transportation, there have been train collisions that crippled the Victoria Rail network, with cancellation rates doubling to 5% since 2016. Once a train is already moving on the tracks, slowing down at such a close distance becomes nearly impossible for the operator. Never allow livestock to wander near train tracks. A herd of cattle tries to cross the tracks, ignoring the sound of an oncoming train. In an instant, the collision becomes unavoidable. A train is one of the most dangerous machines on Earth, moving at terrifying speeds and carrying a massive weight of dozens of rail cars. At a speed of 300 kilometers per hour, the train can't possibly stop in time for the flock of sheep standing near the tracks. It's incredible to witness this. The train operator braked just in time, and because of that, the elephant was protected from injury or even death. This donkey is far too indifferent to the sound of the train bell, and its fate seems already decided. It seems the cow has gotten used to everyone giving it the right of way, so it doesn't bother to move. Cows shouldn't be roaming the streets in India and should instead be given proper grazing spaces. Each year, deer crossing railroad tracks cause up to 1,000 train collisions. One of the most serious incidents occurs when a train strikes a deer standing beside the tracks. Railway collisions with this species are even more devastating than road accidents. The engineer slams the brakes, but the distance is far too short. If there had been a fence, it might have escaped that danger. In this case, the train driver spotted the flock ahead of time and slowed down to ensure the sheep's safety. In India alone, 2,000 to 3,000 train-animal collisions are recorded each year, mostly involving livestock and wildlife. The government has introduced measures like fencing, warning systems, but the problem remains difficult to solve. Even when the train horn echoes across the countryside, a flock of sheep running along the tracks has no idea what's coming. A simple fence could have saved them. A flock of sheep wanders slowly along the tracks, unaware that a massive train is charging toward them with unstoppable force. Even though it tried to run, the poor sheep's fate was inevitable. These recordings serve as a powerful reminder to all engineers and drivers: stay alert. The truck couldn't control its speed on the highway and plowed straight into the flock of sheep, causing the entire vehicle to flip and skid across the road.
Пиздало.
The frightened sheep dashes across the road without paying attention to the danger around it. Maybe it's time you learned a course on avoiding collisions with wildlife, or at least looked into how to handle emergencies before it's too late. In Spain, running in front of a herd of bulls is seen as a way to prove courage and the spirit of taking on challenges. However, the festival remains highly controversial due to ongoing concerns over safety and animal welfare. Allowing livestock to wander on the roads without supervision causes serious consequences for the community. Therefore, everyone must raise their sense of responsibility and never allow livestock to roam freely on the roads to ensure public order and overall safety. At a speed of 150 kilometers per hour, this deer likely had no chance of surviving the impact. With a massive body like a grizzly bear, smashing through a fence is simply effortless. Along the riverbank, a brutal battle erupted as the flock fought desperately to defend their nest, while a troop of baboons launched relentless attacks, turning the helpless chicks into what looked like scrambled eggs. The captured moment laid bare the cruelty of nature, where strength and survival instinct always decide the winner. The scene unfolds fast and with overwhelming force, revealing the terrifying power of this wild animal and the hidden danger when humans get too close. The overwhelming force of the herd turns the confrontation into revealing the cruelty and harsh reality of the wild. Run right now. A stray cow suddenly attacks a 70-year-old woman and her grandson in Mahandagar. The entire incident is captured on security camera, showing the cow charging in without warning in a frighteningly dangerous moment that leaves witnesses in total panic. A bison walks up to a crooked fence and uses a few powerful headbutts to fix it, making the fence straighter than before. The unexpected repair job by the bison leaves viewers laughing in surprise. At Yellowstone National Park, a bison suddenly charges straight into a car that is stopped on the road. The powerful impact shocks everyone who sees it, clearly showing the terrifying strength of an agitated bison. A bison suddenly charges forward and slams hard into a car that is stopped on the road. This moment clearly shows the raw power of bison and the danger of getting too close to wild animals. At the zoo, a reckless woman climbs over the fence into the tiger enclosure just to retrieve her hat. This dangerous act leaves everyone around her in shock, because a single small mistake could lead to unimaginable consequences. Dozens of goats wander freely across the snow-covered tracks, but in the distance, the sound of a train horn echoes, growing louder and closer. Loss and destruction, all of it ultimately stemmed from human carelessness.
Okay, let's go.
It's time for stricter and more serious management. They must also focus on educating and reminding people to never let pets or livestock roam near train tracks. The moose's sudden, ill-timed stop caused it to be struck and launched into the air instantly, and luck clearly wasn't on its side today. The bull's sudden rush sent the driver into a panic, and though the impact threw him from the vehicle, it was fortunate that tragedy didn't strike. In Spain, people see the act of running in front of a herd of bulls as a way to show courage and test their own limits. It's also a time for the community to gather, hold religious rituals, and welcome tourists, bringing economic benefits. However, the festival continues to spark debate over safety concerns and animal rights. This situation reflects a lack of responsibility in livestock management and needs to be strictly controlled to ensure safety and public order. A cow runs along the highway, forcing vehicles to stay cautious, but suddenly it changes direction and bolts across the road. The car driver has no time to react, and the vehicle crashes hard into the cow, creating a sudden and dangerous impact. Maybe this horse got dizzy and ended up charging down the road like that. Hey, dog. Failing to keep livestock in designated grazing areas caused them to wander onto the road and disrupt traffic, and thankfully this cow suffered only minor injuries. After the crash on the road, the poor cow was escorted all the way home by the police after a long journey. The sight of the bear sprinting straight into the glass door was far funnier than it ever should have been. Perhaps this pig was simply too eager to break free from the vehicle. With a single charge from the rhino, the buffalo was left in pain and quickly forced to retreat. The heavy rain blocked the driver's visibility, so what was bound to happen, happened. The brutal impact sent the deer flying nearly 50 feet into the air. Feeding elephants may seem harmless at first, but it can turn dangerous at any moment when their wild instincts kick in. Always keep a safe distance and respect their space. Just one careless moment is enough to cause an accident. Loose management and poor livestock control are causing collisions between trains and animals to increase at an alarming rate. Tightening regulations not only protects livestock, but also ensures the safety of passengers, train operators, and the entire railway system. Right, but who's going to pay for this broken fence? Will this herd of pigs successfully make it across the cliff? A herd of buffalo suddenly charged in at incredible speed and managed to rescue a lion that was being attacked by its own kind. In just a few seconds, this shocking intervention completely turned the situation around. Inside the zoo, a full confrontation between a lion and a tiger was captured on camera. Every tense moment between these two apex predators was revealed. A cow accidentally wandered onto the tracks and got trapped right under the train as it came rushing in. Hey buddy, don't steal my food like that. herd of cattle is running across the road when a speeding car suddenly crashes into them, causing a violent impact and throwing the situation into chaos. On the highway, a warthog suddenly darts out from the roadside, causing the driver to lose control and veer into the forest. Just one careless moment from the farm owner led to the pig jumping off the truck, creating a dangerous situation for vehicles traveling on the road. Place warning signs or markers at a distance from the scene to prevent chain accidents. If the pig is running wildly on the road, contact the authorities, such as traffic police or an animal rescue team, for safe capture and assistance. A growing concern has emerged in areas where avoidable collisions while passing through these regions. The monkey suddenly runs into the middle of the road and is struck by a moving vehicle, leaving the poor animal unable to survive. Elephants are herd animals and become highly sensitive when they feel threatened. Many attacks occur when people or vehicles get too close to their habitat, especially when there are calves in the group. During this period, male elephants experience a surge in hormones that makes them aggressive and more likely to attack humans, vehicles, or anything they perceive as a threat. Elephants may enter villages, residential areas, or farms in search of food, leading to confrontations with people. Many incidents happen when vehicles pass through areas where wild elephants roam. If a car gets too close or honks loudly, the elephant may perceive it as a threat and charge an attack. Dozens of goats wander across the snow-covered tracks while the sound of an approaching train grows louder. The train can't stop in time, and the collision is only a matter of moments. The cow seems so used to people avoiding it that it doesn't bother to move. However, it shouldn't keep wandering the streets of India and needs to be taken back to proper grazing areas. The clash erupts in an instant as the leopard unleashes its full strength to pin down its opponent. Meanwhile, the zebra thrashes wildly, delivering powerful kicks in a desperate bid to break free. A pack of wild dogs suddenly charges down to the river's edge when they spot one of their own being dragged into the water by a crocodile's crushing jaws. In that chaotic moment, the remaining hurl themselves forward, biting and pulling in a desperate attempt to free their packmate from the killer grip. Beneath the muddy river, where strange ripples hide lurking danger, the lion cubs tremble as they step into the dark water, home to countless fierce crocodiles. Every stroke they take is filled with peril, while on the bank their mother watches in tense silence, ready to dive in at the slightest sign of trouble. Amid the swirling currents, these tiny lions must face a life or death trial on their own, creating a moment as breathless as it is emotional. In the quiet stretches of the Sahara, a mother gazelle and her young calf walk leisurely, completely unaware of the danger lurking just ahead. In this strangely silent landscape, every step they take seems to touch the stillness of the desert. But behind a sand dune, a predator lies in wait, watching for the perfect moment of vulnerability. A cheetah suddenly bursts forward, snatches the young gazelle, and carries it up into a tree. On the peaceful grasslands, a male lion strolls in to court a lioness, each step filled with the confidence and presence of a true ruler. But just as the moment turns romantic, a massive buffalo suddenly appears out of nowhere, shattering the calm. It rumbles straight toward the pair, forcing the male lion to tense up instantly, shifting from charming to fully alert. This sudden twist turns the grassland into a stage of surprise and chaos. Beneath the rushing river, a cruel twist of fate unfolds as a wildebeest escapes a small crocodile only to swim straight into the jaws of a giant one. Just after breaking free from the weak initial bite, it surges forward in a desperate dash for survival. But right ahead, a lurking monster hidden in the murky water is already waiting, clamping down on the unlucky prey and turning its escape attempt into tragedy within seconds. In many rural and suburban areas, shrinking habitats and human pressure are making animals more stressed than ever. Moose are usually calm, but they can now react violently if you get too close. All it takes is a loud noise or a move that makes them feel threatened. They can charge with enough force to send a grown adult flying. The bison, the majestic symbol of the North American plains, is often admired with deep respect for its massive size and calm appearance. However, behind that slow-moving appearance lies one of the most dangerous animals humans can face in the wild. A bison attacked a tourist in the park. For example, Grandma Anna was seriously injured after a cow attack. However, just like in many places around the world, not every family receives the full amount of support they truly need. They can become extremely dangerous, whether it's a dairy cow, a small sheep, or a massive bull. Sheep may look gentle, but sometimes they turn into surprise attackers. Many cases have been reported where sheep charged at pedestrians, knocking them down and causing serious injuries. Their aggression is often underestimated until an accident finally happens. Wild moose runs across the highway, forcing all vehicles to stop and causing a traffic disruption. A mother bear and her cub are struggling to climb a snow-covered mountainside. Just as the cub is about to reach the top, it suddenly slips and falls down the cliff, leaving the mother in agony as she looks down and searches for her fallen little one. Bears sometimes wander into residential areas in search of food. When blocked or feeling cornered, they can turn aggressive. cows suddenly rush into the streets, dairy cows go berserk from being provoked, sheep become unusually aggressive, and even wild bulls are now showing up right in the middle of residential areas. As a result, dangerous attacks are increasing day by day, like a warning we can no longer ignore. What is causing these seemingly gentle animals to suddenly turn aggressive? And why are predators like tigers appearing more often near residential areas? In many rural areas, the combination of shrinking habitats and excessive human encroachment has left animals more stressed than ever. All it takes is a loud noise or a small provocation, and they can charge with enough force to knock a grown adult flying. Meanwhile, in areas near the forest, the presence of bison has become a constant nightmare. Many families live in fear every time night falls, because a single moment of carelessness can lead to disaster. A dairy cow jumped off the truck right in front of the stunned farm owner. A kangaroo attacked a tourist even though a trainer was right there trying to stop it. This safety net is painfully fragile, and it feels like a single burst of a tiger's rage could tear it apart in an instant. Too fast, too dangerous. Oh no! The crocodile suddenly burst out of the water and attacked the buffalo as it was drinking. The lightning-fast strike made the moment absolutely heart-stopping, laying bare the brutal cruelty of the wild. The problem was that she didn't respect the elephant. You can tell from its trunk that it was only trying to grab the banana, but she kept pulling it away. A dramatic scene unfolded when a massive elephant appeared to protect a buffalo from a pride of lions. At the edge of the forest, the herd of buffalo rose up to show the lions who the real boss is. Their collective strength and sheer determination forced the predators to back down, perfectly showcasing survival instinct and dominance in the wild. This hippo was so enraged that the pride of lions was terrified and dared not come any closer. She panicked after the sudden shove from the horse. The poor horse was caught completely off guard when the dog suddenly charged in, bit it, and leapt onto its back without warning. Run right now. Looking at these numbers, we can draw a chilling conclusion. True predators are truly terrifying. But cow attacked a drunk man on the roadside, and luckily he was still okay. Cows ran into the streets and caused chaos throughout the community. Many terrifying scenes have been caught on camera. A wild bull smashing through a gate and goring a man into the air. A normally gentle cow suddenly went berserk. A camel kept repeatedly attacking tourists. The mother cow attacked the farm owner to protect her calf. The line between safety and danger has now become more fragile than ever. Residents are advised to limit going outside at night, especially in areas where tigers or wild bulls have been reported. But even during the daytime, attacks by cows and sheep have shown no sign of slowing down. On the highway, an 880-pound cow crosses the road, and the driver, unable to control their speed, crashes into it, sending the cow slamming painfully onto the windshield. The camera captured the chaotic scene as several cows slid out of the trailer and fell onto the ground. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured, but the incident shocked many people around the world. The goat is immediately struck by the train, causing it to lose balance and fall into the river. In just one moment of losing control, a deer darts across the road, and the outcome couldn't be worse. Letting livestock wander onto the road without human supervision creates serious risks for the entire community. People need to raise their sense of responsibility and avoid allowing their animals to roam freely on public roads. In India alone, each year sees around 2,000 to 3,000 train collisions involving animals, mostly livestock and wildlife. The government has implemented various measures such as fencing and warning system. However, the issue remains extremely difficult to resolve. A herd of cattle slowly walks along the tracks, unaware that a massive train is charging toward them with unstoppable force. The distance is too short. Letting cattle roam on the roads causes serious disruptions to traffic. These cows wander freely across the roadway, sometimes darting out unexpectedly, forcing vehicles to brake hard or swerve to avoid a collision. This doesn't just cause traffic jams, but also poses a risk of accidents for both drivers and the cow. A cow suddenly bolts into the road just as a car is speeding toward it. The driver can't brake in time, and the vehicle hits the cow, sending it flying upward before it crashes back onto the pavement. It quickly gets back on its feet and runs to the other side of the road. The collision creates a sudden and dangerous scene, highlighting the serious risks when livestock unexpectedly appears on roadways. Letting livestock roam freely on the streets not only disrupts traffic but also disturbs public order. A cow gets stuck between the tracks as the train slows down, panicking and struggling in despair. Installing safety fences and preventing livestock from wandering onto the roads are absolutely essential to minimizing unwanted accidents along railway lines. A cow is crossing the tracks when a fast-moving train rushes in, unable to slow down or stop in time. Maybe when the dog finally woke up, the train's speed made it impossible for it to escape in time. Caught off guard and panicking, the cow tries to run but can't get off the tracks in time. Maybe it used every bit of its strength to escape the train's impact. Cows may be common in rural areas, but that doesn't make them any less dangerous. Many regions still allow free grazing, letting cattle wander onto the road at any moment. Their massive weight makes collisions with livestock, especially at night or around blind curves, extremely dangerous. Even as the train's horn echoes across the countryside, the young donkey still stands there, unaware of what's coming. Just a simple safety fence could have saved it. Oh man, it looks like the second bear is actually searching for the one who locked it up. That's terrifying. When you feel that first tug, that's when you should be running as fast as you can, my friend. What were you even thinking at that moment? You'll probably never forget this chase. Some prey animals seem to fall into extreme shock the moment they're attacked. They barely try to escape and simply lie still while being bitten. In a dramatic moment, the rhino suddenly charges forward, forcing the lions to stumble back in fear. It looks like they're about to start a fight. Zoo, a battle between a lion and a tiger captures the full intensity of two of the most powerful predators. With raw audio and sharp visuals, this clash keeps viewers glued to the screen with its sheer drama and ferocity. Maybe this horse was running down the road with a bit of night blindness. Maybe this moose should be a bit more careful when crossing the road. Judging by the trajectory and the speed, I'd say that deer is probably still flying through the air right now. Technically speaking, it has become a bird. Animals aren't at fault. They're simply trying to survive in their own world. So slow down, stay alert, and be ready for anything unexpected. Sometimes just one small action is enough to save a life. Like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments so we can help build a better world together.